I hope you guys are doing well. I hope you guys. Hey, I am live. Come in, come in. Get in here. Get in here. Oh, Lord. We're about to get into some things, collective. We're about to get into some things, okay? These lips looking a little bland, darling. A little bland. What color we doing? I hope everyone is doing well. For the ones that don't know me, my name is Hierophant Joey. For the ones that do, hello. Okay. Okay, we got a little pinkish purplish matching the back of my fucking background and shit. So we're gonna do that collective. I hope everybody's feeling positive, full of light, doing what they're supposed to be doing, getting their food together. Okay, collective. Celestial gang, you already know we're throwing down in the kitchen. Okay? I'm throwing down in the kitchen. You're throwing down in the kitchen. Gobble, gobble the fuck up. Okay? So we're gonna get into some things today. As you have seen, I've been promoting this. Hey Jade, hey Nicole. I've been promoting this for a couple of days. So some of you might have already know what I'm gonna talk about today. Some of you don't. But we will be going into the story of Adam and Eve, but in a with a different spin because this is actually Lilith versus Eve. So we're gonna go into that story, into that and how that came about, and how it pertains to the women today, and how you have the submissive woman and you have the independent bad bitch. I could do shit all by myself. But you're gonna now understand where these archetypal energies came from, right? Talking about that, let me take out the archetypal energy deck. We haven't used that in a while. Okay. We're gonna go to the Osho Zen deck. I kind of want to pull a card from this deck I haven't pulled from in a while. We can do that collective. The tarot I want to use though. I know that it's this one, or is it this one? No, this is the Witch's Tarot. We're not using that one. We'll use the Queen's Tarot, right? Boom. We'll use the Queen's Tarot, the Osho Zen Tarot, Oracle, Archetype Energies. We'll use this Animal Spirit deck because I want to pull some energies from there. And then we'll clarify with the Light Seer. Or we'll use this tarot and then clarify with the Goddess, right? Tarot. Be what it may. Whatever, I like to give you guys a lineup of what I'm using, but nonetheless, we're gonna get into some things, right? So, oh, collective, what's everyone doing? Yeah, I'm just trying to get some rest because I know I'm gonna have to throw down tomorrow, and it's gonna get hectic out here. Okay, it's gonna get real hectic out here. Let's burn some sage, right, collective? Burn some sage. Oh, holy sage, please clean the air and the energies around us. And please give us clear messages so we can be able to expand on this topic and concept. And so it can help us in our lives. And help us have different perspectives. Thank you for your love you, wisdom, and support every day. With nothing without you. I hear ya. I gotta get up early too. I am the cook of the family. Oh Lord, you know how that goes. Gotta be well rested, right? Okay, guys. So we're gonna get into some things. Just bear with me, guys. So we're gonna start off with something that I just found very interesting, right? And it's funny how in the Bible, depending on which one you're reading, you will find two creation stories. The original one, it just says that when Adam and Eve were created, Adam and Eve, right? That were created, it just said male and female, he created them. Then there's another version where he goes into the Lord, which the one that says male and female, he created them, and that was it. It had nothing to do with the rib, nothing with that. He just said that, and that was the end of it, right? That was Genesis 1:27. So Genesis 2:21, 22, he goes through 22. He goes into the description of the Lord God caused a deep sleep to fall upon the man, and he slept. Then he took one of the ribs and closed up the flesh at that place. The Lord God fashioned into a woman the rib which he had taken from the man, and brought her to the man, right? But this is where it gets interesting, collective. To explain away this seeming contradiction, because there's two stories, it's a contradiction. Later, writers of the Jewish mysticism propose that the first chapter is referring to a separate woman that God had created a partner for Adam before Eve, named Lilith, who later rebels after refusing, listen to this, collective, to mate with Adam in the missionary position. She's like, sweetheart, I'm trying to ride that dick, okay? You're not going to be fucking me on my back. That's definitely what we're not about to do. And Adam didn't like it because Adam didn't want to be on his back and didn't want to be on the bottom. So now it's a gender power struggle, right? Insisting that she be on top. It should come as no surprise why feminists love her, right? Never coming to an agreement, Lilith leaves the garden and becomes a demon according to them, because remember, this is a version of the story that they're using to be able to hide the fact that there was two versions in the Bible to begin with, right? So her name appears once in the Bible, Isaiah 34:14, which is believed to refer to a demoness of the night. It is therefore more than likely that Lilith is based off of the Babylonian night demon Lilitu. But I don't find that likely, because I mean, you know, people telephone shit and the stories and all of this, right? So listen to this, is my thought. I think that they demonized her, right, in that story so they can be able to suppress women, because this was their way of manipulating women into thinking that they couldn't be independent, that they had to depend on a man to provide for them or to protect them, and made them the weaker sex. This is why Lilith is like, I'm not having it. We were made from the same fucking soil, you and I. So why the fuck can I not ride your fucking penis, sir? In this beautiful ass garden. What nigga does not want his penis ridden, right? I don't know, Adam. Little sus, bro. Little sus. So then they get into the argument. She leaves the garden, and then supposedly the church demonizes her because supposedly she becomes a demon. How the fuck does she become a demon from night to fucking day just because she didn't want to fucking become submissive to Adam? It's fucking bullshit, right? Lilith leaves the garden and becomes a demon, according to them. Her name appears in the Bible, blah, 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 and all that shit happens, right? When God created Adam and saw that he was alone, he created a woman from dust like him and named her Lilith. But when God brought her to Adam, they immediately began to fight. Adam wanted her to lie beneath him, but Lilith insisted that he lie below her. When Lilith saw that they would never agree, she uttered God's name and flew into the air and fled from Adam. Then Adam prayed to his creator, saying, Master of the universe, the woman you gave me has already left me. So now he's already crying like a little ass bitch. So you need somebody to stroke your ego, my nigga? Right? So God called upon three angels, Sanoi, Sansanoi, and Semangaloth, to bring her back. God said, go and fetch Lilith. If she agrees to go back, fine. If not, bring her back by force. The angels left her at once and caught up with Lilith, who was living in a cave by the Red Sea, in a place where Pharaoh's army would drown. They seized her and said, your maker has commanded you to return to your husband at once. If you agree to come with us, fine. If not, we'll drown 100 of your demonic offsprings every day. So now they're just making shit up to be able to demonize her, right? Lilith said, go ahead. But don't you know that I was created to strangle newborn infants, boys before the 8th day and girls before the 20th? No, the fuck he wasn't. You was born to fucking be Adam's wife. You see how none of these stories make sense? Because they just read it to try to cover up one of their lies, right? But there's so much knowledge in here because so much you can learn from it, right? Like the two sides to a woman, not just submission and being compassionate and kind and loving and nurturing, but also being independent and strong and having your own power and independence, right? They seized her and said, your maker has... Yeah, that happened. Lilith said, go ahead, but don't you know that I was created to strangle newborns? That's what she goes, right? I will have no power over that infant if they wear an amulet wearing any other three angels' names on it, right? So then that happened. So then the other part to this is that then Adam feels alone, and then supposedly that's when Archangel Gabriel goes to Adam and takes his rib and brings it to God so he can make Eve, right? But then when Gabriel goes to get the bone, the rib, he encounters Lucifer, and Lucifer says, hey brother, like, what's up, what's going on? Because remember, Lucifer is the master of the earthly realm, right? So he's like, oh, nothing, I have to come to get this bone, whatever. He had the bone, so Lucifer snatches it from him, and then they get into a fight, and then Gabriel can't go back empty-handed, so he brings Lucifer's tail, right? He brings Lucifer's tail, and then what happens is that supposedly he goes to the tree and manifests Adam. And Adam manifests Eve because the bone supposedly wasn't there. This is from Jewish mythology and their books and what they believe, right? So my idea is that Adam goes to the tree and Adam goes to the tree and manifests Eve so she can fucking stroke his fucking ego, blah, blah, whatever. And that's why Eve is so submissive and so different from Lilith, right? So then that happens. And then the church believes that, the Jewish people believe that Lilith came back in Jewish mythology and showed herself as the serpent of the tree. Because remember, they demonized her. So now she's showing up as the serpent in a tree and deceived Eve into eating the apple so she can know, so she can be like a god and have a choice, right? So this is why they call it the light bringer, right? Lucifer, the light bringer, or the serpent of knowledge, or the tree of good and evil, right? Because, bam, my thought is that Lilith was trying to warn her and tell her, he's only going to want you to stroke his ego. He's only going to want you to do this. He's only going to want to overpower you and be the overpowering gender in the relationship. And that's why the serpent's like, if you eat from the tree, you will know good and evil, and you will be just like a god, and you will have your power, right? It's mind-blowing, right? So then that happens. She's like, girl, that was my ex. You can have that nigga, but he ain't no good. You can have that nigga, girl. If you think you're going to change him, it's not going to happen. So this story just gives everybody the ammo in these times, and church people and like bishops and priests in the Vatican to force the male into being the dominant sex, right? And the woman becoming submissive to that. And collective, where women suppressed for thousands of years and couldn't vote and couldn't say nothing. These women used to get treated like shit. They couldn't work. They couldn't have their own money. They had to depend on a man for. Imagine depending on a man for everything. That shit is crazy. There's people who still do it, and this is why they're in these relationships that. So some of them, I'm not gonna lie, it probably works because that she's just that submissive. That bitch don't give a fuck. But how about your hopes, your dreams, what you want to do, what you think is right, what you're into, what turns you on? That bitch wanted to ride the dick, and he was like, "Nah, B, that don't work." Because men don't like to be overpowered because it makes them feel demasculated and it puts them into a feminine energy. They become the submissive. So this is what they did so they can be able to make man the dominant sex. Right? We have women out here for thousands of years and hundreds of years forced to marry these men and be in relationships that they didn't want to be in, getting their ass beat, treated like shit. Like, you know what I'm saying? They were only good for cooking, cleaning, and having kids. That's it. That was their job. You imagine that? Y'all going crazy today. Talking about, I can't with these kids, I'm tired, and blah, blah, and all this. Imagine if you had to deal with that shit 24/7. And then making your man one of your kids. Because you have to take care of his ass and do all of this and all of that, right? Because he don't want to be in touch with his divine feminine energy and cook and clean as well because it's a fucking partnership, it's a team, right? But here comes fucking old little Eve. Oh yeah, I'll be submissive to you, daddy. It's alright, I'll do it all. I'll do it all. Yeah, bitch, no, we're not doing that. Okay? So the story of Lilith is a late Jewish tradition where areas nearly all of the works depicting a female serpent are by medieval Christians. There are no supplementary writings that I'm aware to indicate that the Lilith story was widely known in Christian circles because it was a Jewish mystic story, right? Renaissance artists, by depicting the serpent as a woman, were both revealing their opinions of the female sexuality and decisively blaming womankind for the fall of the human race. Women were perceived by Renaissance artists to be weak, gullible, and inherently flawed, an ideal scapegoat. The only issue with casting Eve as a temptress is that she was originally tempted by the serpent, right? Which would make him a man. But if you turn him into a woman, now the woman is at fault. So that's why they told the story of Lucifer being Lilith. So then the other part to that is that then later on in these stories, Lilith becomes the first wife of Lucifer. And it's kind of funny because in the book of Revelations, at the end of the scripture, is Jesus Christ says, I'm not only Jesus Christ, but I am also the morning star. Who was the morning star? Lucifer. Gemini, the twins, light and darkness. So then it leaves me begging to think that Lilith was made first, right? She was never a little girl. So Lilith already knew that she was divine. So then creating a woman from the manifestation of Adam, because he was alone and wanted his ego stroked, right? Creates the duality of a woman. You can either be submissive or be a powerful queen or woman, knowing exactly what she wants, like Lilith, or being in power because you're just as equal to the man as the man is to the woman, right? It's duality. Because even if you was to put Adam versus the Lucifer, which is the original fuckboy, because remember Lucifer also ends up raping Eve and having Abel and Cain. And lying and cheating and manipulating and doing all this shit to her so he can be able to bring in sin into the physical world. And then versus the good husband that's doing everything right and she's still over here. Right? The original third party situation. So then the blame ultimately falls upon the male sex. However, if the serpent becomes a woman, then woman is ultimately to blame, like I just said, right? The theory that the serpent was depicted as a woman so as to identify with Eve is confirmed simply by paying attention to the artwork itself, in which the serpent looks exactly like Eve. The last three pieces of the gallery above are the only ones which clearly are Lilith in our modern works, right? Then collective. Let's see. Let's see. So pretty much this comes from the Tree of Souls, the mythology of Judaism, right? So there's a whole bunch of shit in here. So that's basically the story. So she basically goes into the fucking wilderness and ends up making her own fucking life, becomes a queen and or goddess, right? And the church depicts her as a fucking demon because that's what they're gonna do. They don't want nobody to think that they're God living a human experience, right? So boom, that happens. And it's like, it's so crazy because it's like, damn, homie, like all of that just because you didn't want her to ride your dick, and now you have to go and find a whole new girl and manifest a whole new girl. It's too much for me. It's too much. So let's go into prayer. Thank you, Father, Mother God, for waking us up today, allowing us to be an extension of you. Understanding that you gave us free will so we can be co-creators of our own reality. Comprehending, understanding, and understanding that we are constantly connected to God's source, the universe, spiritual guides, archangels, ascended masters, ancestors, anything that is high vibrational to get these messages across to the collective so they can be able to expand. Please show us any messages that are running right now in the energies of love, finances, relationships, health, the future, the past, and the present. Thank you for your love, your wisdom, and support every day. We're nothing without it, nothing without you. Please show us how this story connects to the women of today. They made her the outsider only because she wanted to, and then demonized her because she wanted to be as equal to Adam. And you heard the story, they were made from the same fucking dirt, but made her an outsider. And that's how women have been being treated for the longest time. But in the past 10, 20 years, you see women rising, getting the same jobs as men, doing the same shit, being able to work, take care of kids, come home, cook, clean, and still do everything without a man. And that's what men didn't want in those times, right? But then this is also you guys learning how to choose that Lilith energy, right? Whether you're male or female, because you become independent and powerful within yourself and understand that you're divine. so you're not depending on men or women to simply satisfy your needs. For instance, when she was like, I want to ride you, and he's like, no, because I don't want to be at the bottom. And she's like, well, fuck you, nigga. I'd rather be by myself than to not be satisfied as a woman. You understand what I'm saying? So at the end of the day, whether you're male or female, you guys have to acknowledge that inner Lilith, that black moon energy or placement on your chart collective, and also embrace Lilith, because Lilith is the one that gets you through those dark moments. She was alone. She went through shit by herself. She had to survive in the wilderness by herself. She was living in a fucking cave. Lord knows how she made a fire or made light or whatever the case may be. You know what I mean? Or how she, got her food or whatever the case may be. She did all of that without a man. And here's fucking Adam at the tree crying all depressed and shit because his little fucking girlfriend left him. So this is for men that want to be in relationships and expect a woman to do everything and anything. Because you guys have that divine feminine energy inside you too. That Lilith energy that you guys can cook and clean and fucking help provide as well. And protect and be the man and still do all that shit. You can do all that shit and still be in your divine feminine energy. You can cook for your girl. You can clean for your girl. You can be emotional. You can cry. Yeah, you guys have to start accepting that inner Lilith energy. Then y'all wonder why good things ain't happening in your life. How the fuck are you supposed to manifest when you're not in your divine feminine, right? Lilith had to fucking be forced out of this relationship because Adam didn't want to let her do what she wanted to do, and made her feel inferior to him, and she had to go and survive by herself, right? In the fucking wilderness. So she did all that shit by herself instead of wanting to co-create. She saw behind the mother. She saw beyond the fucking illusion. She saw beyond the illusion. It was all suppression. She was like, I'm not gonna fucking suppress myself for you. I saw beyond the illusion, right? So a lot of you need to see beyond the illusion of a lot of these relationships that you're in. If these people aren't giving you the same energy that you're giving them, goodbye, you gotta go. You need to isolate yourself. People might think that Lilith was being cold to Adam, but no. It's like today, nigga, if I don't like to be fucked that way, fuck me like this. There's nothing wrong with that. So why do men get demasculated or get offended? Because they have ego, their pride, right? Because they don't have that divine feminine in them to understand and have that compassion to be like, damn, I should really, take my time and satisfy my woman how she wants me to do it, right? No, but they want to be in control, suppression. But we are in an era when we're getting out of those times. If a nigga can't give you the same thing that you can give to them, if they're coming to the table and they can clean and cook and take care of their kids and this and this and that, women don't want it. And men don't want it either. This is why we have these battle of the sexes right now in this generation. The men are like, oh, these women are too independent. They don't know how to be divine, a divine feminine, and blah, blah, whatever. You want to know why? Because for thousands of years, you treated them like they was inferior to you. So now they're showing you that they can do it, and they can do it better than you. By themselves. And still having kids. And raising them on their own, and going to school, and doing work, and all this other shit. And paying rent, and doing all this shit by themselves. What the fuck do you have to show for it? Divine masculine. Then you're not in your fucking girls' lives, in your kids' lives, and this and that, because you're not fucking divine masculine and a little bit of fucking with that divine feminine, so you can be able to nurture your relationships, nurture your kids, nurture your homes. It's not only about providing. Providing has so many branches. It's also about providing emotionally, providing financially, providing for the kids, providing support. Fuck out of here. Y'all need to see beyond the fucking illusion. Then y'all wonder why y'all can create the realities that you want with these connections and these people. And it's because y'all both ain't in your divine mastered energy. Divine mastered energy is divine feminine and divine masculine coming together inside of you. Because you understand that you're both. Whether you are female or male. This is what the story is trying to tell you. They're all one and the fucking same. See how none of them got what they wanted? Because they weren't practicing both of their fucking divinities. If Eve wasn't so fucking submissive to Adam, she would have never been so fucking easy to fucking manipulate by the serpent in the first place. Because she would have had her own mind to think with. Don't you think? Like Lilith did. She was like, I'm out of here, bitch. Kick rocks. And there's the fucking rebirth. There's a rebirth. It's getting intense. Because every moment to moment, a lot of us are starting to see that until we don't integrate with this sorrow, because I don't see it much as sorrow, I just see it as the man thinking, right? For a lot of you, this is why men are alone. And women are alone too. Because the women are in their divine masculine energy because they have to be the one to protect themselves, support themselves, provide for themselves, blah, blah, and do all this other shit, right? And now they're suppressing their divine feminine, and this is why their relationships don't work, right? Or they're in the wrong relationships. Then you have the masculine who's going around in their toxic masculine energy and not integrating with their divine feminine, right? Which is crazy. I can't. So we're gonna go into, let's go to this animal deck. Let me get the book. Please, Spirit, show me any messages right now. Advice. For some of you, there's somebody new coming in here, and it's divine masculine energy, but they're so integrated with their divine feminine that it's going to be different for you. You're not going to be used to it. You're going to be like, I'm not used to this. For a lot of you, it can be a Leo. I also do see Aquarius, Libra, Gemini, and Leo, Aries, Sagittarius. But yeah, shout out to Leo for making an appearance in the reading. Leo, Aries, Sagittarius. Thank you, Spirit. Oh, that's a lot. Thank you. The crocodile and the lizard. Funny how it's a reptile and fucking resembles the fucking snake, don't it? Reptilian energy. This is a lot of you are, you know, being sneaky and manipulating yourself, or not getting the fact that you guys are not seeing the fact that you are both divine masculine, divine feminine, and this is why your relationships ain't working. Until you don't integrate this stuff, you're not going to be able to find a soulmate. For the ones that are single, for the ones that are in relationships, you guys need to see the perspective, see how they just zooming into the eye. You have to change your perception of how these relationships need to work. This is why Lilith was like, I'm standing up for my fucking beliefs, bitch, and not saying I'm out of here. I'm not being submissive to something that I don't agree with. I'm divine just like you, so what the fuck? Right? And then it's funny because it's duality. You have the lizard and the crocodile, one virgin bigger than the other, right? One is more dominant than the other because it's bigger. And this is what it's trying to show. See how one of the triangles is upside down, the other one is upright? Because they're the opposite of each other. This is what they try to do with male and female. Try to make it seem like they weren't the same. They are the same. Hence why when your nigga's balls is nothing but ovaries on the outside. And the fucking shaft of the fucking penis is nothing but the uterus tract, the tunnel to go up to the fucking eggs. That's all it is. It's a fucking vagina inside out. We are the same shit, just built a little bit differently to be able to procreate and have a population. Hello? If not, we wouldn't be able to procreate. That's why they call it reproductive system. Right? So we're going to go into these cards. We are all the same, and everybody in the world fucking knows that. They just try to make it seem like we're not, because that's how they separate people. Let's go into the motherfucking lizard. Yeah. The lizard. The crocodile. Resting, submerging, collecting energy, cooling off. The crocodile reminds us to step back from the external world and turn inward to integrate ourselves. Now it's not the time for decisions, actions, or discussions. The crocodile's mantra is wait. This doesn't mean lying around, hoping life's challenges will disappear. The crocodile is much smarter than that. And this is what Lilith said. She said, bitch, I'm not just going to be laying on my back and not getting no motherfucking satisfaction. I am divine just like you and equal, right? So then, so pretty much, it means intentionally withdrawing, gathering our awareness, observing and hiding and building energy. Fill up the vital reserves so your next move comes from a place of wisdom and power. Wisdom and power, and that's what the fuck Lilith did. She said, bitch, I'm gonna choose for myself, and I'm not gonna become submissive to a man to stroke his fucking ego and to fucking lie on my back and have him fucking get off, and I'm not getting shit. We're not doing that. Right? So it's becoming the opposite of Eve and becoming powerful and knowing your power and your wisdom as a woman, right? Because you are just as equal to the man. When in balance, wise, patient, a silent powerhouse. When out of balance, feels stuck, lashes out. Wow. When in balance, wise, patient, and a silent powerhouse. When out of balance, feels stuck and lashes out. And that's exactly what Lilith did. She felt stuck and she lashed out. And to bring into balance, rest and do the Makarasana pose during meditation. We're going to have to Google that. So we're going to go into the lizard. Let's see what the lizard. Instinctual, sensitive to the subtle, the dreamer. The lizard is an expert in the realm of sensory perception, as if it has a sixth sense. The lizard hears what is yet to be spoken and sees what is yet to manifest. Although this is an amazing gift, it can easily wear the lizard down. Big crowds, loss of travel, or overstimulation will drain a lizard of their magical essence. This card is an indication to pull back from the bright lights and big city and return to the inner artist who's been whispering your name. So this is pretty much Lilith saying to Eve, come back to my side, and Eve saying to Lilith, come, let's merge together. We can be the compassionate, loving, and still be the powerhouse. Independent, survival by myself, because you don't need a man to fucking be happy or survive. You know what I mean? And vice versa with man and a woman. You don't need her, because you can also clean and cook and do that shit too. But men are walking around like that's a woman's thing to do. Like if the fucking woman is inferior to them. Or different from, there's no fucking different. You have men out here that live by themselves and clean and cook and take care of the kids too. Because they're in their divine feminine energy. And divine masculine, because they're providing. And being strong and protective. So at the end of the day, you guys need to start understanding these concepts. So you guys can be able to live the best fucking versions of yourself. Let's go to the Queen's Tarot. No, let's go into the Light Seer. Let's see how we're gonna... Wow, I pick it up and look. The merging of the two. The Two of Cups. It's a reunion. An integration. Please show me any messages worthy right now. Thank you. Wow. And this is the power that God has given you with the Ace of Pentacles and the fucking Six of Pentacles, which is receiving. Receiving the tools that you already have and learning how to use them. Lilith is the original bad bitch and Eve is the original good wife. But what happens when you bring them together? You get a fucking queen. And this is what you need to start understanding. Even with a man, when you get the original, like, you know, alpha man that provides and does what he's supposed to do, but lacks emotion and nurturing because he's not in his divine feminine. That's like Adam and Lucifer being the original fuck boy because he's so macho, right? And like, you do this and I'm gonna manipulate you into this and you know, I'm stronger than you and blah blah whatever, and not integrating with their feminine energy. But this is them receiving that as well. So there's gonna be a lot of changes in relationships, people. People are receiving what they're being given. Wow. With the Four Cups. This is why a lot of you are single. Right? The Four of Cups. And this is why a lot of you are single, because you're dealing with people who are not integrated either with their feminine side or their masculine side. You need to learn how to master that and become the magician and manipulate that and fix it of yourself. Any other messages? The Hermit, Virgo energy, going within inside yourself and then doing the integration, reflecting, right? It's inside of you already. It's an ascension. It will be revealed to you by the moon. See how the black and the white, the light and darkness is there? Divine masculine, divine feminine. And this is why a lot of us are drowning emotionally, because we're not integrating those two. The Five of Pentacles, see? Disappointment. But understanding that we had the key to the door the whole time to be able to integrate ourselves and see the divine feminine and masculine inside of ourselves collective, right? is a death and rebirth. Duality, a death and rebirth. You're going to become a whole new person, collective, when you do this integration inside of yourself. Look at this, because it's time for you to be genuinely happy. You see how she's so balanced? And now she found her happiness with the sun. There goes that Leo Sagittarius energy. Then we have Virgo. Shout out to Virgo for popping out in the reading. Shout out to Leo. Shout out to Scorpio. Shout out to Sagittarius, Cancer, Gemini. Introduce your motherfucking shits. Sagittarius energy with the Temperance and the Eight of Swords. This is you guys just merging the two. See how he has the light and the darkness too in his hand? See how it's all about the merging of the two to become your higher self. That's how you release yourself from this energy of not knowing your other side, or integrating so you can be able to get the best version of your reality. And look at the hyena, the duality again, black and white. See what I'm talking about? This shit is crazy. So now I want to clarify the moon. What is going to be clarified? What is this happiness and death and rebirth? Thank you. The Hanged Man, releasing yourself from what don't purpose you anymore and integrating yourself. See the black and white again? See, we're not going to do this. The black and white again. Divine masculine, divine feminine. Doing that integration of the mind, body, and the soul. Divine feminine, divine masculine, and the soul. All three of them. The soul, divine masculine, divine feminine. Because divine masculine, divine feminine live inside the soul together as an androgynous energy. And look, the Wheel of Fortune again. And then you becoming the best version of yourself. A god or a goddess. And you stop fighting yourself with the Seven of Wands. Right? You see how the man and the female are fighting? So collectively, and women and men stop fighting, and then on a bigger scale, this starts to stop, and now more soulmate energy is going to be on the planet. It won't be the male and the female always fighting each other. It will be them being equal. And then the Five of Pentacles, right? Because you got the Four of Pentacles, stability, the Five of Pentacles. How does this integrate with this? The Three of Pentacles. The Three of Cups. There goes the integration again. Divine feminine, divine masculine, and the soul. But then here's Lilith, right? Because Lilith still has to also integrate as well. And become more submissive and more feminine. Because being hurt by Adam like that and being looked at as a less version of him hurt her. And this don't even have to be relationship-wise. It can be the way that a father hurts a daughter, and it forces you to be in this energy where now you have to protect yourself and provide for yourself, especially if your parents have abandoned you. It goes into so much. It doesn't have to only be about relationships. It's about people being independent enough to understand the divinity inside of them, whether it's masculine and feminine. It's both of them together. But a lot of people don't know that they have those inside of them. And this is the Ten of Swords that everybody's trying to release, right? That's what's keeping everybody trapped. And then with the Nine of Wands, with the Nine of Wands, that's the secret. That's what nobody wants you to know. That everybody's equal. Because it changes the dynamic of social construct and how the world works. That's why. Because then you become the queen. Because you're fighting for what you believe in, your power. Right? It's crazy. Queen of Swords. Told you become the queen. That shit is crazy collective. Top of the deck, 8 of Cups. That's crazy because now that's why a lot of men are leaving their women now. Because they become too independent. They become better than them. And they get demasculated. And this is why a lot of relationships don't work nowadays. But that's going to stop. See how he leaves her? Because now you become the bum nigga because I don't need you. What can you offer me that I can't offer myself? And most men aren't in emotional energy, so they're not going to offer love and compassion and none of that. Because then most of them aren't into that. Because they're not in touch with the divine feminine. So I don't know. I'm just trying to figure this shit out. Very interesting fucking reading. Full of knowledge and full of light. I hope that you guys learned something today and that it brought some type of clarity, light, and knowledge to you. I love you guys so much, and I want to say thank you for your continuous support and for always being there for me. And I will always be there for you, and I will always guide you. I love you guys so much. Shalom, love, and light. And I'll see you next time.